Hey guys, I just got the worst possible fucking news ever. And submit the paperwork. The paperwork that you're thinking of is like basic shit. Obviously, I submitted that. And when I was given this initial form, I filled it all out and I sent it back. And then they sent it back to me and was like, oh, you missed a couple spots.
Showing a company before you even start that you have zero ability to take initiative is a terrifying red flag. And that's why your job offer got revoked.
The incompetence of Gen Z is terrifying. And that is coming from somebody who is in Gen Z. Gen Z's lack of incompetence will forever be their downfall. Okay?
And here's the thing, the level of hand-holding that she would have needed, the company, they're not equipped to do that for her.
I hear a phrase like, I didn't get the documentation quickly enough for them. What I think most people know is there were clear deadlines that were being missed. And these deadlines are often there for a reason. I have a ton of stories like this. Here's a text.
This video came across my timeline. And in the video, there's a lady that was sitting in her car and she was crying about how she was supposed to be moving to Tampa. She got her dream job and then they called her the last minute to tell her that they rescinded the offer and she no longer has a job. And according to her, this is her dream job. She already got an apartment over there. She quit her job back home and now she doesn't have her old job and she doesn't have the new job and she has an apartment and this is the worst news that had happened to her. And also, I'm just going to play you her video, and then I'm going to play you what other people have to say about her video, okay?
Hey guys, I just got the worst possible fucking news ever. So, as we all know, I was supposed to be moving down to Tampa in 3 days. I got my dream job. I found a beautiful apartment, and I was set to be down there on Thursday. And I received a email stating that because I submitted my documentation later than they would have liked, they're revoking my hiring process. So now I don't have a job there. I lost my dream fucking job. Don't have that job. I don't have my job here in St. Louis because I quit my job to go down there for this job. I can't get rehired at my job because my position was already filled. So I am jobless. And my lease for my apartment is up. I don't even have a bed in my apartment. I have nothing to sleep on. I have nothing in my house. I signed a lease. And I'm jobless in both fucking places. And I don't know what to do. Like, I literally don't know what to do. But that's fine. It's no one else's fault but mine, and I'm just, like, really, really, really upset, because, like, if you guys know, like, it's been my dream to fucking move there. That was my dream job, and I wanted it so bad, and then I managed to fuck it up. So, yeah, like, I'm having a really, really, really hard day. We'll do that. A lot of you guys are asking why I didn't submit the paperwork. The paperwork that you're thinking of is like basic shit. Obviously, I submitted that. And when I was given this initial form, I filled it all out and I sent it back. And then they sent it back to me and was like, oh, you missed a couple spots. So I sent it again and then I sent it back and then they were like, oh, you need to get this notarized. And I was like, what the fuck does that even mean? I signed it off. I sent it back again. They're like, no, like this isn't notarized and you need to get it notarized. And I was like, what the fuck does that even mean? So I look it up. By this point, this is last week and I was in Florida looking for apartments. I strictly went down there to look for apartments and nothing else. So I did not have the time to do it. And then the weekend came, all the places to go to are closed. And then come Monday, I went and got it notarized and sent it and they were like, it's too late. That is what happened to me.
Showing a company before you even start that you have zero ability to take initiative is a terrifying red flag. And that's why your job offer got revoked. The way that you could look at the situation and blame anybody else but her is mind-boggling. You saw a word that you did not understand, and instead of immediately using the copious amounts of resources at your disposal, you gave up in advance.
So you get the opportunity of a lifetime to work your dream job, but you don't turn in your documentation on time. Make that make sense. It must have not been that important to you, because you could have had that documentation done on the first day. The moment they sent it to you, which I'm pretty sure was by email or something, you could have had that done in the first day. When something is so important to you, you prioritize it. Some of y'all be getting blessed for no reason, because you'll have the opportunity right there in the palm of your hands and then squander it. Like, how do you allow this to happen, bro? You get to move to Florida and work your dream job / career and don't send in the documentation on time. And then it the way she said it was, because I sent in the documentation, later than they would have liked. Yeah, so you didn't send it in on time. Oh man, boy, I tell you, boy, the economy is so bad right now. And people are working jobs that they don't want to work. And you get an opportunity to work the job that you do want to work. And move to where you want to move. And you mess that up. That dream job wasn't that important to you.
So that dream job, no paperwork girl, right? What had happened was she's very young and she didn't know what notarizing meant. And so she was supposed to get some paperwork notarized and she didn't do it because she was so busy with like the moving and she didn't know what it meant. And here's the thing, the level of hand-holding that she would have needed, the company, they're not equipped to do that for her. Like, she doesn't know how to read an instruction and use the cell phone in her hand to figure out parts of it that she doesn't understand. And it's like, you guys, you can't expect that level of hand-holding. Very clearly, she was not capable of that job. And so young people, like, as you're graduating college and you're like getting your first job, don't be that person. Don't expect people to hold your hand. You have a phone in your hand. There is so many things that you can figure out, and and it's better to figure it out with your phone and be like, hey, so my understanding is this, right? This is how it works. Just wanted to double check. That looks better than just failing or doing it wrong.
Okay, we have to talk about that girl that got her dream job offer. She got a new apartment in a new state, in a new city, to move towards this job, and she did not turn in the proper paperwork that they asked her to by the deadline, so they rescinded the job offer. You're thinking, I really do feel for the girl. Although there was some lack of accountability in some of her phrases, she did recognize that it was her fault. Actually, that'll be the last time she doesn't dot her I's and cross her T's. When it comes to professionalism, big girl jobs, things like that in the corporate life, they don't mess around. And I do think that the schooling is in part to blame. The No Child Left Behind, you can be late, you can turn in your homework whenever. It boils down to there not being enough consequences for actions. Okay, people really need to have consequences. And so when they started eliminating consequences in school, like being held back, kids just don't learn lessons the hard way. Sometimes it really takes, learning that there are consequences to our actions or inactions of doing something. And yeah, this was a big one for her. I'm glad that she seems like she's starting to take accountability, that, it's not that this dream job offer being rescinded is ruining her life. She ruined her life by prioritizing finding a place, an apartment, all this stuff, all the fun stuff of, but not, doing, and apparently I think I heard something about her not knowing what a notary was and getting something notarized. And it's like, you gotta, at that point, that's on you. Research is your responsibility as an adult. You should know how to research things. If you don't know, ask. If you don't know, research it. Oh, those are my thoughts on it.
I'm a chef. I cook for a living. I'm just gonna say this: if it was really their dream job, they would have done anything that they possibly could have done in order to get that job. If somebody told me I got keys to a $5 million a year establishment, it doesn't even have to be $5 million a year. I got keys for a restaurant that I'm going to give you, but you have to give up a kidney. I would be in the hospital within a week, giving my fucking kidney up for a restaurant, and I would sleep in that restaurant and do everything I could, because my dream job would be to own a fucking restaurant. I would do anything for something like that. So for someone to say that they had a dream job and they didn't even put in a modicum of effort for that job, they didn't really want it. That's all I got.
I want to dogpile on this person because they've been through a lot, but what the fuck do you think is going to happen? When I hear a phrase like, I didn't get the documentation quickly enough for them, what I think most people know is there were clear deadlines that were being missed. And these deadlines are often there for a reason. I have a ton of stories like this. Here's a text message I sent to somebody at the end of a day on a Tuesday for an offer letter we had sent out on Friday. They confirmed they were really excited. They were going to get the stuff sent back to me. The next morning I followed up because I didn't get it. I say, yeah, it's coming today. The next day is the 18th. It is a Thursday. It has not come yet. And the next day on a Friday, after giving a phone call saying, hey, this is becoming a serious thing, we may have to take this offer away, it got sent over to me. The start date was set for July 29th. We still had to run our background check. We needed the equipment request so that we could get equipment sent to them. And we needed to get them within our payroll system. You can see in these text messages that I was being very nice. I wanted this to work out for the candidate. But this is a red flag to people who have time to pack up an entire apartment and plan a move, but not send over the documentation that your dream job needs. Things like this are signals. I am sorry that this happened. I feel bad for this person. I don't want people to be unemployed. I don't want people to not know where they're going to live. This video going viral has to be a lesson to a lot of people who see it and think this stuff doesn't matter. That company was probably scared you weren't going to take the job. Professional communication matters. Meeting deadlines matter. And starting off on the right foot by doing some of the basic stuff matter. And I'm not here to defend all sorts of bad things that corporations do, but also some things make sense. And a corporation revoking an offer over something like this that we know dragged on for quite a while is just obviously what's going to happen. And we have to do things to prevent that, especially if it is our dream job.
The incompetence of Gen Z is terrifying. And that is coming from somebody who is in Gen Z. I was born in 2002. And I work in corporate America, so I feel a little well-versed to talk about this, okay? For the lady who got on here crying because your dream job offer was rescinded because of your lack of follow-through is your own problem. Gen Z's lack of incompetence will forever be their downfall, okay? Both of my parents work in corporate America, and they've taught me very early on that the one thing you can do is follow basic instructions. So when those papers were sent back to you that you needed a notary and you didn't know what a notary was, you were supposed to go online, type in, what is a notary? Okay. And then you were supposed to actually take that time, because if you really wanted this and this was your dream job and what you want to do in life, an apartment will come, babe. You can always get an apartment. You won't have the job forever. There is a time window. So for you to not take that as a moment of like, oh, they sent this back, I need to do this, you deserve to lose that job. And that goes for any person in Gen Z who thinks that they are above the program because they don't know how to do something. It takes 15 minutes to do a notary. You literally just go to the post office. They will print out the papers for you at the post office. It's really simple. So the fact that you didn't was just because you didn't want to. Because Gen Z will make the time for things that they want to do. People will make the time for the things that they actually want to do. Okay? So if you didn't want your job, your actions showed that. And you can't get upset for people asking you, but why didn't you just take the time to go out and do a notary? But because you were looking for apartments, you thought that was more important. And I'm sorry, it's not important where you live if you can't afford to stay there because you don't have a job.
All right, girl, this must not have been your dream job. And they sent you an email saying that, hey, this needs to be notarized. They even told you, and said that, hey, this one wasn't notarized. And you didn't do that on time to send it in. And this is supposed to be your dream job. You didn't want that job. You wanted to move to a new city. You were just really excited about moving to a new city, getting an apartment. So you were busy getting the apartment, looking for the apartment, you're situated in Tampa where you're going to stay, to the point where you actually neglected the very same thing that is bringing you to Tampa, which is the job. Anybody that gets their dream job, trust me, they go above and beyond to make sure all the documents are submitted. But you failed to do that. I'm sorry that this happened to you. You lost your dream job, but you are going to find another job. This you will learn from. This is one experience you will never forget. And this will never happen to you ever again. You learn from this experience. You are very young and you probably get a better job than this. This was probably not meant for you. Your actual real dream job will come and you will be happier. You'll be on time. You will turn in everything that was asked of you. So yeah, let me know what you think about this story down in the comment section below. Thank you for watching and I'll see you all in my next video.